Okay, so let's try to graph 3 cosine of x over 2 minus pi over 2. So first thing I'm going to notice that my amplitude has changed. My amplitude is 3. And I'm going to rewrite this so I'm pulling out that 1/2 in front of the x. So if I rewrite this, I'm going to get 3 cos, pull out a 1/2, divide that out, 1/2 divided by 1/2, just leave me with an x. Pi over 2 divided by 1/2. I flip the fraction, multiply, so just pi. Okay, so amplitude is 3, my period is going to change. That's going to be 2 pi divided by 1/2, which again, flip the fraction, multiply, so 4 pi. And my shift, this time it's going to go right pi, so I'm going to be adding pi. Okay, so I'm going to draw out a regular cosine first. Regular cosine, 0, it's at 1, and at 2 pi, it's at 1. At pi in between is where it gets to its lowest, at -1. In between those, at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2, is where it hits the zeros. So regular cosine graph looks like that. Okay, so if I'm going to change the amplitude, I need it to go up to 3. Just going to add little tallies in there to show it goes up to 3 and down to 3. And if I'm going to change the period, that means I am dividing each of these by 1/2, which means I'm multiplying each of these by 2. So if I do that, if I multiply everything by 2, 0 times 2 is still 0, so stays there. Pi over 2 times 2 is pi. Pi times 2 is 2 pi. 3 pi over 2 times 2 is 3 pi. And 2 pi times 2 is 4 pi. Okay, so now I have this. So last thing I need to do is shift it, and it needs to go right pi. So I'm literally just going to add pi to each of these points. 0 plus pi would be pi. That's where it's going to start, up at 3. Pi plus pi is 2 pi, so that's where it crosses the x-axis for the first time. 2 pi plus pi is 3 pi, so that's where it goes down to 3. 3 pi plus pi is 4 pi. That's where it crosses the x-axis for the second time. And 4 pi plus pi is 5 pi. That's where it ends, all the way back up to 3. So this is my cosine graph. Notice the shape is still roughly the same. It just is bigger now because it has a difference period of 4 pi. And it goes up more and down more because I went ahead and changed the amplitude. Okay.